internet, so random video on a Tuesday, yay! Basically on Sunday, whenever I was supposed to upload my video, I was sick. And I am still sick, but on Sunday I basically had no voice. And my voice is mostly back now. I still have a pretty bad cough, but I am mostly better. So I thought I would go ahead and film this video so that way I'm not uploading 2 videos on Thursday because I'm trying to stay on the schedule that I made. So you get a Tuesday video this time. Fun fact, today is also actually my birthday, so that's just a random happenstance. But anyway, I'm going to get into the books that I bought in the month of September. I started off really good in the month of September, and for some reason I've noticed that I'll go most of the month hardly buying any books, and then somehow at the end of the month I just accumulate a lot of books. It's weird, I don't know how it happens, but it keeps happening. But anyway, let's just get into it. So the first book that I bought in September was, of course, Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, and this is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series, and I've already read this. I actually have a review up for it that I will link in the description, and basically I love the Throne of Glass series a whole lot, and I really loved this book, but I don't think I loved it as much as Queen of Shadows. But I did really love it, and for more of my thoughts I will touch on it briefly in my September wrap-up, but also, like I said, I have a review of it, so you can go watch that if you want to know what I thought. It does start off non-spoilery if you haven't read it, so yep. And then I took a trip to my favorite indie bookstore, Parnassus, and I bought some books there. So I'm gonna talk about those. The first book I got from there was Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, and I actually read this also this month. I read it for Diversathon, and I really enjoyed it, and I will talk about it more in my September wrap-up. This is about 16-year-old Simon, who is gay, but he hasn't really come out to anyone yet, except for this person that he's been emailing named Blue, and they've kind of been talking, and a bunch of other stuff happens, and it's kind of, I thought it was a really good story, so that's kind of what that's about. While I was there, I also picked up The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, and they actually had an autographed copy because apparently she was there not long after I moved to Nashville, but obviously I didn't know that because I just moved here. I didn't even know what Parnassus was at that point in time, but I've had my eye on this book for a while. It sounds really interesting. Basically, the way I understand it is that when terrible things happen in the world, a monster is created, and there are supposed to be 3 different kinds of monsters in this world, and I don't remember exactly what those 3 tiers of monsters are, but this book follows 2 main characters, one who is a monster and wishes they weren't, and another character that is not a monster but wishes they were. And another thing that intrigues me a lot about this book is that there is no romance, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my romance, but I don't think it needs to be in every book, and it always seems to be in every book. So I'm really looking forward to reading this, and since it kind of has that monstrous vibe to it, I'm thinking about reading it in October, so really excited to have this. I also picked up Furthermore by Tahereh Mafi. I've never actually read a book by Tahereh Mafi, but I know that she's also the author of the Shatter Me trilogy, and this was also a signed copy, and I don't think that Tahereh Mafi was there, but maybe she signed books for indie bookstores or something. I'm not really sure, but I'd kind of been wanting this book anyway, so when I saw that they had autographed copies, I was like, just gonna go ahead and take that as a sign that I need to buy this today. So from what I understand, this is a story about Alice, who is colorless, I believe, and something happens to her dad, and she has to travel through the land of Furthermore to find him, which is a very, very colorful world. And it's supposed to be very, very whimsical, very Alice in Wonderland vibe-ish, and I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I'm really looking forward to it. This is actually Tahereh Mafi's first middle grade novel, I believe, so really looking forward to getting to this one. And speaking of Alice in Wonderland, while I was at Parnassus, I also picked up this beautiful edition of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. I have read both of these books, but the other version that I used to own was very beat up and torn up because I had bought it at a used bookstore. So I went ahead and just got rid of it, and I collect the World Cup Classics anyway. So when I found this, I had to get it. I've actually been looking for it for months, and they just happened to have it at Parnassus, so I was really, really excited to get my hands on this. It is beautiful. I love the color choices they used for this one, and the end pages are beautiful, and I just love these editions of classics. I'm so excited to have this to add to my collection. The next several books that I actually got at a used bookstore named Mackays, which I did a vlog of, and I will put that in the description. It was a bookstore that I'd never visited before, and it was pretty awesome. So I got a couple things while I was there that I briefly mentioned in the vlog, I think. The first thing I got there was City of Fallen Angels, which is the 4th book in the Mortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare. I reread City of Bones last month in September, which is kind of a spoiler for my September wrap-up, but whatever. But the first time that I read City of Bones, I never continued on with the series for some reason. So I want to start doing that now, but the first 3 books that I already owned are in the old covers. And it's really hard to find the old covers, especially in paperback in bookstores now. So basically, anytime I find an old cover in paperback, I'm going to buy it. So this is the 4th book, so now I have the first 4 books in the old covers in paperback. So since I saw it, I went ahead and picked it up. They did have the 5th and the 6th book in the old covers, but they were in hardcover, so I want to see if I can find them in paperback before I resort to the hardcovers. So that way they will look better on my shelves. But I was really excited to find this. I also found the entire Shatter Me trilogy by Tahara Mafi, and I don't know a whole lot about what this is about. I've heard fantastic things about it, and they had the entire trilogy for less than $20, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up because it is something that I have been wanting to read. I've heard fantastic things about this trilogy, so I'm really looking forward to picking it up. And then, of course, the reason that I didn't actually film this book haul earlier than what was supposed to be last Sunday is because on September 30th, Leigh Bardugo was in Nashville at Parnassus for her Crooked Kingdom event, and I just absolutely had to go and get Crooked Kingdom, which is the sequel to Six of Crows and the last book in the Six of Crows duology. This is a beautiful book. I mean, look at it. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, I got her to sign my copy of Crooked Kingdom, which was awesome. She was so sweet, and listening to her talk was just a blast. I had a lot of fun at the event, even though I was kind of late because of traffic and I didn't particularly feel all that well, but I still really enjoyed being there, and I'm really glad that I got to go, and I'm so excited to have my hands on Crooked Kingdom. The first book, Six of Crows, I really, really liked. I loved the diverse characters and the plot, and I really just loved every character so much. And it is a YA fantasy duology that takes place in the Grisha universe because Leigh Bardugo is also the author of the Grisha trilogy. So it's the same universe but completely different characters, completely different story. And it is kind of about these characters that are trying to pull off this really intense heist, and I absolutely loved Six of Crows. As soon as I finish the book I'm reading right now, I'm definitely going to be picking up Crooked Kingdom next. I'm so excited to get to this. And while I was there, Leigh also had some playing cards that had each of the different characters on them, and so when you went up to meet her, you got to take a random card and see what character you got. And I got Kaz, and I think he looks really cool, so I'm very excited to have this as well. While I was at the Leigh Bardugo event, I actually did a book trade with Heather over at Zethro Books. I will leave her link in the description. We traded some books that we were wanting to get rid of, and so she gave me 2 books. The first of which is Matched by Ali Condi, and I believe that this is a trilogy. I have not read it before. I believe it's a dystopian trilogy. I might be wrong about that. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've never read it, so I'm looking forward to seeing. I know that I've seen this in bookstores for a long time, and I think at one point it was pretty popular, so I'm looking forward to picking this up at some point. And she also gave me an ARC of a book called Last Seen Leaving by Caleb Roehrig? I'm not sure how to say his name. And this comes out in October. It comes out sometime this month, but I don't know the exact date. And I think this is a mystery, but I'm not sure if it's young adult or adult. I've never actually heard of this before. Okay, so after reading the synopsis on the back, this has to do with a main character named Flynn, and his girlfriend has gone missing. And it looks like that a lot of people are suspecting Flynn of being behind the disappearance. So this sounds interesting. I'm looking forward to picking it up. So that's it for the September book haul. Sorry this wasn't more exciting, but I still don't particularly feel all that great, if you can't tell. But I will be posting my September wrap-up and October TBR on Thursday, so you can look forward to that. And yep, that's it for this video, and I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye.